What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mina Elias, and today we're going to cover some crazy stuff. I have a big expert with me, Stephen Pope from My Amazon Guy, and he's going to cover a lot of things that I don't understand about my own brand. So I have a product, MMA Nutrition. Everyone knows about it. So he's going to jump in. He's going to take a look at my product. He's going to tell me how to improve cataloging and a lot of other cool things. And he's going to show us a report that just went live. No one knows about it yet. So he's going to break all this down.
The bird doesn't sit on the branch because it trusts the branch, but because it trusts its wings to catch it. It's not about the branch. It's not about what I'm standing on, but it's about my wings, my abilities that are going to catch me. So if all of it goes away tomorrow, I can rebuild everything because I have those wings, I have those skills.
So Stephen, please give a quick intro and let's jump right in.
Nobody cares who I am. They just care what I have to say. But I run a 300-person digital marketing agency called My Amazon Guy. I'm a thought leader in the space, so I always like to share all my trade secrets. So let's jump right in. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to share screens. It's going to be a tutorial-based video today. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the front of the listing just to get some observations in. And then we're going to go to the new search query performance report with a brand new tab down to the ASIN level, and we're going to look at its indexing. So here you can see the listing. You got a supplement-based product here. What's the number one reason somebody buys this product, Mina?
It's for hydration purposes, and it's generally like people who are like on keto. So it's a sugar-free like hydration product.
Got it. So with supplements, what's the number one question you usually get asked about a product like this?
Like, does this have sugar?
Does it have sugar? Great.
Yeah.
So now that we've got that unflavored, clearly present right there on the front of the main image, and maximum hydration power, let's call it in the title up here. So that's good. And then go through the image stack real briefly here on the left. So we're just going to get a little basis, and you can go to the next photo. So we got advanced hydration, got that energy element. Go to the next photo. Supplements facts, boringest photo ever, but everybody has to have it. All right. So kind of the same theme between this photo, and this one, kind of just infographic based. Let's go to the next one. Here's our first time we get a picture of a person. The eye contact's not directly on the camera. I definitely would adjust that and try and find another shot where they're looking directly at the camera, because I think it'd be beneficial. But active lifestyle, points made. This graphic right here where it says stay hydrated is telling me to stay hydrated, but it's not showing me to stay hydrated. So that's kind of one of the things I would adjust here. All right, so this gives us just kind of a basis on the listing. We're just going to look at a couple of SEO elements on the front facing before we go to some back end data. So look at the bullet points next. Let's scroll down to that. And in here, you're reiterating the same things that were in the graphics. In my opinion, this text box here is for the robots, and these photos are for the people. So having that context, that explanation of why we're viewing things the way we do, I think it's a really important thing. You don't need to pay for ingredients you didn't ask for, so there's no artificial. Like that's actually a really big feature, in my opinion, based on this product, and probably is not emphasized enough in the photos, right? So like maybe like a shot with an us versus them, like, you know, here's us, here's them, and here's all the things it does and doesn't do. And you're going to actually give them check marks for, you know, things you don't like, right? So I think that'd be beneficial just from a listing perspective. And the reason we're spending time on this like catalog merchandising element in a technical SEO video is because these things can often dictate which keywords we're going to chase when we get to that data. All right, so let's scroll down to the A+ content section.
Okay. So we got virtual bundles here. We're targeting our own product.
Yeah. So first thing is you're missing the brand story. So you definitely need that element.
Brand story is
it's a brand new module. It'll go above the A+ content.
Got it.
So if you want to pull up your A+ content modules, and if you're okay with sharing all that, that's cool.
Of course.
So if you go into the A+ content in here, oh, that's weird. All right. Okay. So premium A+ content that just launched, that's coming. We can talk about that a little bit. But if you hit this button right there and just hit start creating A+ content, this will give us the basis to show what's possible. So this is the regular A+ content. You have that done. This is the brand story. You need to do this. Brand stories have a really powerful element. It's a carousel, right? And so a lot of people are just filling in a static thing without realizing you can add like lots of stuff to the right. They click the right button and you can scroll through some stuff.
Do you have
If
a good example?
I do.
Can we open a good example here?
Type in /Age of Sage at the top there. Well, I was going to give you my store link. That'll be a little easier. So go to the actual URL bar and type in /Age of Sage. And this is my own brand. And we can click on any one of these products, whatever floats your boat, just click on one and then scroll down. And then the brand story is going to pop from the brand right here. And so what's really cool about this is you can tell your brand story. And so like when I look at your products, Mina, and knowing what I know about your chemistry background, I want to hear about you personally. Like that's just, like for me, if you told me about how you made your products and your brand story, it would make me want to buy your product. Right. So like that's how do we get your start? Like why you do what you do. You are the face of that story from my brain's perspective. You may not agree with that statement, but I'm a fanboy of what Mina has built. Right. Okay. So over here, a couple observations, see how I can click all these products. So if you go ahead and click one at random.
Wow.
Now we have an opportunity to cross-link products together. And that allows for an AOV increase, average order value, which is awesome and important because now we can hopefully get the featured items together, all that kind of stuff. All right. So that's the brand story. Everybody watching this, if you don't have a brand story, you are missing out on 25% of A+ content's value. Now let's go to your A+ content from your actual page, and we're going to do one other checkup, and then we're going to go to the data and the back end. So this is show, right? So when I criticized your secondary image where you told me about hydration, this is showing me hydration, right? So strong, I like it. Keep going down. Potassium, magnesium, sodium, like that's pretty good. Like you're very science-based if somebody wants this to work, right? Okay. We still haven't seen any eye contact in any photo. I think that's an opportunity. Keep going down. No crawlable text in the A+ content. This is actually pretty common in the supplements industry because the number one fear of a supplements product owner is like, oh, is my product going to get yanked if I make this claim? Right. So a lot of people in the supplement space, they don't have any crawlable text. But if you were, once we look at the data here, if we were going to try and level up this product, the very first thing we'd want to do is come and stuff 500 words of copy into this A+ content. So now we know what technical front-facing aspects are available to us. We need to add the brand story. We need to update some copy. Now, when we go look at the data, I'm going to be able to tie in these specifics. And here's that us versus them photo, right? Like, did I not call that was needed on this list? Here it is in the A+. See, here's the thing, like, got to have that in the secondary images, right? Okay. So first thing I want you to do, I don't know if you've got helium sands. So click on this. Oh, by the way, I really like the product grid and we do have crawlable text down here. So I gotta give you a little credit there. I think you could do like 4 more points in the product grid and emphasize some additional keywords. So when we go to the keywords data and we see like, hey, here's an opportunity, and you're like, I don't know where to put that, Steven. Here's the elements where you could put it in. You could put it in as a product grid element. You can put it in the header of a photo and A+ content, and you can put it into the bullets and the title, of course, as well, though that's the hardest place to stuff.
What about questions?
Not as effective, but does index.
Okay, because I've noticed a huge, like when the more questions I added, the better my product ranked, and I start seeing an increase in sales. Yes. Especially if it's like
engagements,
regular questions being asked. Like it was an SOP every single day, ask a couple questions.
Highly recommend that. And there's no negative consequences of asking questions on your own listing at time of shooting this. Perfect. I guarantee you sometime by 2023, they're going to crack down on that. But for now,
it helps everyone. You're just asking questions, you know?
Yes. But the problem is Amazon's removed so many of those other tools, right? And so what happens when you remove review manipulation, upvotes, rebates? People start navigating out to the other areas and then they start abusing them. So the Q&A is going to get abused. I guarantee it. They're going to crack down on it. For now, though, I would do exactly what you're doing. Just be prepared for that.
Perfect.
All right. So now what I want you to do is I want you to pull up this ASIN and Cerebro. And if you want, I have that up already on my side. So stop yours. I'll share mine. And then after we do the Cerebro element, we're going to go over to the search query performance report. So this is this product running 0 in ads, is that accurate?
Yes, this is accurate actually.
So that's a very surprising observation, right? So normally marketers like Mina and I would be like, run ads always, never turn them off. So is there a particular reason you don't have ads on?
Yes. So after running ads for so long, I decided to test turning the ads off.
To see
And
the difference?
yeah, and I noticed a drop in overall sales, but my profits significantly went up. I think it's just the fact of the market is it's a very competitive and expensive market, and but it only works with this one. This one was launched in 2018. The other ones that were launched in the other ones that are launched in 2019, 20, and 2021, they cannot survive without PPC.
So why not just run like a 5-cent auto campaign or run like 1 or 2 phrase matches with a 50% bid? Why 0 ads?
There's no like good reason for it. It's just like we were running them and I said, let's turn them off and see what happens. And then we turned them off. The profits went from like, I think 5,000 a month in profit to 20,000 a month in profit.
Nice.
And I said, you know what, dude, like, let me just milk some, like the agency is like running on all cylinders. I'm like, let me milk some money out of this and we'll see how long this goes. It's been a year now.
All right. So a year without ads and still making 20K a month off of a product. I don't think anybody's going to criticize that.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I mean, we both run agencies that do PPC, and I would never recommend this to anyone, but sometimes there are freak things that happen, and this could be one of them.
Well, I mean, one of the things I always do on my channel is I try and break every rule ever, right? Just to show you what the consequences are and how far you can go. So by no means does this change my opinion of everything you're doing. In fact, I would endorse like the methodology of trying to do freak things so you can see the consequences, so that when you're talking to a prospective client, you can say, hey, I have done this, but here's what happens, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, it only works 20% of the time. So do you really want to take these risks, right? All right. So with that in mind, so we're going to look at the keyword rankings. There's 2,700 keywords index, and I define a keyword as index based on this right here as showing up in the top 300 results according to the Cerebro crawling. So this is a very healthy number of keywords index. I guarantee if we looked at your indexing from a year ago prior to the ads change, there would be more keywords index.
It used to be 6,000.
There you go. So half of the visibility of this product just evaporated, right? So there's a consequence to that. So the question is, so with a product with no ads, how can we improve the organic results? Because guess what? If we don't improve the organic results, we can't grow the product because we're not running ads, right? So there's an obvious need to the play. On the top right, we got a word frequency where we can see all of the keywords that show up on a frequency basis. So we know that powder, electrolyte rather, are showing up in basically 1 out of 4 keywords: keto, packets, potassium, hydration. So like the choice of talking about potassium, magnesium, and I forget what was the third? Sodium shows indicative of the word frequency chart as a good choice, or if not a good choice, at least an effective choice, if that makes sense. The fact that sugar shows up 165 times, also a potential interesting element. When you click on the word frequency, you can see like all of the outcome of how many words have sugar in them. And you can see like how important that is. And so if we sort this by search volume, sugar-free shows up, not index. It's showing up because Amazon's recommended rank is showing up. But electrolytes, powder, no sugar, organic rank number 59. So this word right here at an 8,000 search volume is in what I like to call the strike zone. If you put minimal effort on this one keyword with an 8,000 search volume, chances are it's going to improve the listing. Now, I have yet to look at Mina's data. All of the things we're doing right now are live. And once we're done with Cerebro, we're going to go over to the back end of Seller Central. And I fully 100% predict this keyword right there is going to be at the top of the search query performance report, in the top 15. I just guarantee it. So let's see if I get that prediction correct. So what we would do, whether you look at the search query performance report or not, we go take the listing and we do a control F to see if we have an exact match of this keyword. And we do not. Nowhere on the listing is there an exact match. There's probably some pretty close matches. Electrolytes powder is right there, but the words no sugar next to the powder is not. It's not in the title at all. So if we type in control F for sugar, we've got like the phrase match pretty close, right? But there's no exact match. If we do a control F for sugar, we see 32 references. This will pull the ads from other products as well. So like the perfect for conscious or diet strict, no calories, no sugar title right here, this would probably be the first easy to implement element we would change on the listing. We'd say, hey, what would be a way we could get electrolytes, powder, no sugar into this bullet point? Here's where you would stick it somewhere in there. You'd work it in, right? So perfect for conscious or diet strict, no calories, no sugar. Ideal for people who are watching their diet, but looking for a boost in stamina, endurance, and cardio performance. Like this is really well written, like casual talking language. It's not been keyword stuff. And I'm going to recommend that Mina keyword stuffs this a little bit. So maybe at the end of this bullet, just simply put in parentheses, electrolyte powder, no sugar. That gets you your exact match. It keyword stuffs, but doesn't interfere with this nice casual talk, which Mina's marketing abilities are really strong at, right? And then the other place you could do is as you scroll down like this, you could look for wherever you talk about sugar, maybe here, add in a header to the A+ content with that exact match again. And just like regular website SEO, when you have an H2 tag, which is essentially what a header of a photo and A+ content equates to, is an H2 tag. It signals to the search engine. And a lot of people forget Amazon is a search engine. It's not just a marketplace. It's the #1 product search engine in the United States. So when you think about that and you add in that H2 tag, that signals to Amazon this is important to your listing. So you're going to stuff it in the bullets, you're going to put it in the A+ content, and then I would also probably put it down in the product grid, especially if this is true on all of the listings. Even if it's not though, put it in here, check, maybe not check, whatever. And then you've got a third exact match entered in. And then finally, right after that, we're going to right click this photo. And we're going to look at the alt text of the photo. You have an opportunity. You've written keto electrolytes powder. That's 3 words. That's not even close to filling in the 100 characters of alt text. So what you're going to want to do here is fill in all 100 characters of alt text using keywords that show up in the strike zone, like electrolytes powder, no sugar, or sugar-free electrolyte powder, and get those exact matches into the alt text as well. So a lot of good opportunities on this listing. I'm going to pause there because I know I'm at monologue. Mina, what's your reaction to kind of what we've gone through so far?
This has been incredible, dude. Like I'm sitting here, I'm taking this all in. I love it. I love you have a very data-driven, systematic approach. You know what you're doing? You're peeling off like all the layers that I haven't. So, you know, I built the listing, everything is good, but it's like, you know, it's just step by step. If people just follow this video step by step and just uncover every single thing that they're missing and follow this, I mean, I'm going to implement all of this. And I'd love for us to hop back on like another video, maybe in a couple months, and say like, this is how my sales have changed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we can look at the data. We can say, okay, you had 2,700 organic keywords. Now you're at 3,500 because of all of these ones that I was missing. I added them. I added the exact matches. We can see our organic rank went up for a bunch of things. So this has been amazing. Very, very eye-opening to me. And it's bringing a layer of like granularity and detail that I have not been taking.
I love that assessment. Thank you for the compliments as well. So if we look at the hard top line numbers of this listing, there are 526 keywords in the strike zone. I denote the strike zone as organic rank 20 through 50. If we edge that a little bit further to get that one keyword I zoned in on and go to 56, 636 keywords. And basically what you would do is you would go down this list from the search volume. We do this in what we call SEO phase 3. This is the strike zone update phase from my Amazon guy. Is we look at these search volumes, we sort it by the filter of 20 through 50, and then we look at these one by one, and we say, cool, of this list, what makes the most sense to focus on? And I really zeroed in on the sugar one based on our early part of the call. So when you guys replay the video and you're like, you're seeing me ask the questions I did to Mina, here is why. Now I know it's important to him. And then I look at the data and I say, cool, I know it's important to Mina, and I tailor it, focus it in on the relevancy of these striking zones. So like something like smelling salts, powerlifting, would that keyword make sense for your listing?
No.
Right. And so like we could eliminate that, not even focus on it, but you're organically indexed at rank 51, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
Now at the same time, I've done this exercise thousands of times. It's not even an exaggeration. When I did this exercise for the smudge kit and I started seeing the keyword sage candles for cleansing house show up, I was like, that can't be relevant. My product's not a candle. Right. Well, what happened when I looked at all the data is turns out it was hyper relevant, and I should be in position SEO PPC position 1, which I am now, because when I show up like this and everybody else is advertising candles, and you can see candle, right? Just like down the list, lots of candles. Well, it turns out my impression share was 20% of the clicks. So despite the fact that we haven't even seen my organic listing, there's an Amazon's choice section. I've got the winner on that. We should see my organic listing. Here we go. Finally see it, right? Like I'm in organic position 40-ish, something like that on this keyword. But I was getting 1 out of 5 of all clicks for this keyword. So what did I do? I went ahead and updated my listing. I threw it into the title. So let's go back to the listing here. I threw it into the title right here, even though it's not a candle. And what happened is I increased my clicks by 3x. And and 1 out of 5 purchases now buys my product when they search this keyword. So how we did that is we looked at the search query performance report, which is now what we're going to do together. So Mina's going to share his screen. He's going to show us the search query performance report on the back end of the brand analytics tool. Now, so I think we're in this tab here. And one thing that nobody has seen yet, this is Brand Spanking New. Amazon has not even made this announcement yet. We just happened to find this yesterday. This ASIN view right here for search query performance will show you the keyword impression, clicks, add to carts, and purchase share. I call it the ICAP marketing funnel. I like acronyms. So ICAP, ICAP. This will now show you, instead of it just being at the brand view, you can now get it at the ASIN view. This is a huge, huge development that will allow us to go super granular on one product. Previously, we could have gotten all this data at the brand level, and then you'd have to freaking guess which keyword mattered for which product. But now we have it down to the ASIN level. So this is just super valuable. So now I made a prediction that we were going to see a very specific keyword show up on your listing. And it had the word sugar in it. So just
it was electrolytes powder, no sugar, I think.
Okay, so just do Control F for sugar. So we got one right there.
Oh, 1 second, Command F.
And hit enter. So we got 3 references. So let's take a look at this. Sugar-free, and where's the third one?
Wait, where is it? I only see 2. So it's interesting.
There's got to be a third one somewhere around here. So I would say I got this about 80% correct, right? Like I technically don't have the exact match.
Oh, it's in here. It's the third
nice.
one's in here.
It's in the title of the product. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So essentially, Amazon pre-ranks these in this column right here, and they're signaling to us what are the most important keywords according to its data. So I used a different data source. I zeroed in on one keyword, and I thought it was going to show up in like the top 25 here. It kind of does, but not an exact match. We got a close match, a phrase match almost, if you were. So now what you would do if you're watching this and you've never seen this report before, you would basically be able to safely pick one of these top 10 keywords and focus on it. And the reason is,
I would love to take a second to kind of explain like what this data means. Like,
you bet.
So yeah, like, okay, we're seeing here, search query volume. I'm assuming that's like the search volume, but then what about like impressions to clicks to carts to purchases? Like how can we interpret this data?
You bet. So I have a special video that's going to give a thorough explanation about this. You guys can go to myamazonguy.com/ICAP. But here's the 2-minute version of this. Impressions, this is when you show up on the search page. Clicks, that's when they click on your product and go to your page. Add to carts, that's the A, is when they add it to their cart but they don't necessarily purchase it. And the P is the actual purchase. And so if you have a percentage difference as you go through the marketing funnel, you know what to focus on. For example, if you have a pyramid, that means your impression share is smaller, your I's up here and your C's here and your A and P as it goes down. As it gets bigger and you share more market share, that means you need to spend more on PPC. And the reason we know this is because the consumer is signaling to us and saying, this is important. I like it. The more people that they go farther down in the funnel are choosing your product versus your competitor. And so that means spend more on PPC. If, however, you have a tornado, which I'm just going to draw like an ice cream cone. Yeah. And so if your ICAP looks like this, where you have less of the market share as you go down the funnel, that means you have a conversion problem and you need to spend more design time. So this is a conversion problem. And so let's look at your data and see if we can find an example of both of these to impact this. But essentially in the ICAP marketing funnel, you have the ability to choose which item or element to focus on for the product. So impression share right here at 3%. Let's just look at the top one together.
Okay.
Search volume is 1,300. So I would say that's an important one. Yeah. Okay. So 3% impression share, 58% of all the clicks though. So pause there for a second. Yep. 58% of all clicks go to your product. That is an insane number, but only 3% of the impressions are being seen by your product. So in this case, we have a gigantic pyramid. So the I is up here at 3%, right? I'm trying to draw a percentage sign. But your next level, the C is like gigantic. It's like the giant part of the pyramid here at 58%. Just an insane leap. Basically, if I was going to choose 2 or 5 keywords for you to focus on, anytime you see this leap from impression share in this column, go gigantic to that one. Those are keywords that I could pretty much guarantee would be profitable for you.
Dude, look at this one. This one is a 0.28% of a what is it? 96,000 search volume keyword and 38% click share.
So basically what this means is anytime you see people really like what they see, if you spend more on ads and more time on SEO, you will increase your market share. Who wants more market share? Raise your hand. And if you're watching this video, raise your hand too. And if that's the case, here is the strategy with the frickin' data already built and prioritized on a silver platter. Focus on this report, focus on these keywords, and use this data to justify it, right? So a huge opportunity. So as we go down the marketing funnel though, so so far we've only done impressions and clicks, the I and the C. So now let's go scroll all the way to the right and let's look at add to carts and purchases. So of all of the product purchases or all of the add to carts, you have an 11%. So you have a tornado going from the 58% down to the 11. And then you have a tornado going from the 11 down to the 4. So essentially you have a lot of click interest, but you're not converting this keyword as compared to the rest of the market. So your main image is sexy, but your listing is an ugly duckling. That's what this data says. And so you need to tailor in and focus. Like if somebody's looking for unflavored electrolyte powder, why are they not converting when they look at your listing? There's a problem. You need to address it. The text needs to show up more authentically. You need to show me and not just tell me you have unflavored electrolyte powder, right? And then that will improve the conversion rates. And so when you take these actions we talked about, tie it into the first part of the video and show me, instead of just tell me, these percentages are going to go up. And you can cross-apply this to all the keywords in the list and run this multiple times. This report right here is what we do in SEO phase 4. So these are advanced techniques. If you go back to SEO phase 0, that's doing your research. Phase 1 is indexing the product, following all the standard best practices of setting up a listing. And SEO phase 2 is incremental indexing. We used to call it the pink word update, but they got rid of that when they rolled this out. But basically anything that's in the title or the bullets doesn't need to be in the back end. And this is, and so phase 3 was when we looked at Cerebro and the strike zone. And this is phase 4, the market share update, or the ICAP marketing funnel. So now you have kind of a baseline, a strategy of how to view SEO. It's not a set it and forget it strategy. And there's so many elements and data points that you can look at. So we found both the pyramid and the tornado on the same keyword. And as we look at this, we could find other elements. So there's 7% on the add to carts there, 3% on the purchase. That's a tornado. As we keep going down and kind of looking, I want to see if there's any that go up, and none of them do. They all go nope, even that one goes down. So pretty much all of your between the add to carts and the purchases all go down. That means you have buyer remorse. They're like, they like your product enough, Mina, that they add it to their cart, but proportionately speaking, as they're shopping around, they abandon your product consistently. So that means you need to focus on anxiety element reduction. And does the product really do what it says it's going to do? Do I really believe that this can solve my problem? So in any of your user testing, I would focus on anxiety reduction for certain, no doubt about it. Now let's go back to the first 2 columns. And since PPC is semi or fully off the table, improving your impression share will have to come from SEO elements, which means you need to look at these keywords and get exact matches built into the copy or the front end of the listing. Now, here's the good news. If you do that, I also predict your conversion will go up, because somebody looking for these keywords, when they see it show up on the front end of the listing, they're going to say, that's what I'm looking for. I'm in the right place. So that's kind of the assessment here. Hopefully I broke it down in a way that everybody can understand it. But what questions do you have, Mina?
Dude, that was so perfect. Like I'm so blown away by after seeing this, because for the longest time I knew that this existed. I just did not know how it can be actionable. But seeing you, like, this is so simple. Go look at the keywords. Obviously, you know, the higher the search query volume, the better you should focus on. And then going from impressions to clicks to add to carts to purchase, identifying the problems, and then what's the action that we can take. So, I mean, let's be blunt here, right? If I want to increase impressions, I'm either using PPC, SEO, you know, like you said, stuffing the keywords in many places, or search, find, buy. Like it's still an active strategy that people are using. And so it was very eye-opening to see, okay, sure, you can improve your impressions, right? You can improve them, but what happens is people are going through the funnel and then saying, okay, like I'm no longer interested. And so it kind of was like, wow, you're right. Like I have a very beautiful main image, but when you look at the rest of my images, they're not as good. And so it totally makes sense. If I improve my images, if I improve the language, if I improve my enhanced brand content, maybe put some some other videos or things in there, all of that, even incrementally, 1%, 2%, 3%, because if I can improve this side of the equation, then we already know how to easily do this. Because I'm sure if we fix this area and then I started putting money back into PPC, we wouldn't have that profit problem. We'll actually make a lot more profit. And it's clear that like my funnel is broken. People are come in and then they just don't convert. And so that's the problem.
Mina, you're saying your funnel is broken. You're making 20K in profit a month on this product. And okay, maybe we want 40K in profit. I get it. Yeah. But you're doing fantastic. The things that we talked about are super advanced. They can help anybody, but at the same time, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And this was very eye-opening, Steven. Thank you so much for this. Very, very actionable. Thank you for breaking down the listing. And I'm glad we did this live on a real listing, my listing. So it's not like bullshit hypothetical stuff. We went in, everyone saw the back end data. Your predictions.
Which props to you, by the way. Anybody who is a supposed expert in the space and they actually show their work, they show the data like Mina just did. is so much easier to trust. Like I already trusted Mina, but now like my trust level is like even higher. I was like, he just revealed his naked self, his naked supplement right there. So if you guys are wondering if you want to work with Mina, he's got my endorsement.
Dude, and for people with catalog problems, hit up Stephen Pope. I mean, I honestly haven't talked to anyone who's ever been able to bring that level of granularity. Hopefully this is very transparent in front of everyone when they watch this video. I'm gonna link Stephen his channel. By the way, Stephen's channel is a huge inspiration to me. When I look at Stephen's channel, I'm like, I am doing a horrible job at marketing and adding value because so Stephen, you have a background as a newscaster, right?
I do. TV reporter
TV.
Up in Idaho and Wisconsin.
So this guy is born for the camera, born to like tell stories and explain and break things down. So go look at his YouTube channel. I think it's like a library of SOPs, which I strive to also create something like that soon. I see the Inc. 5000 in the background was named number what 333 something like that.
Yeah, we got this. I haven't hung this up yet, but this came in the mail. It's kind of a little fun thing there.
334, fastest growing company in America. So I mean, it says something. He's doing something right. I'll put the links below. Stephen, if people want to reach out to you, just briefly mention it. I'll have all the links anyways.
Podcast at myamazonguy.com. If you want to send me an email, I read those personally. And hope you guys check us out over at youtube.com/myamazonguy. Thanks for having me on, Mina. It was lots of fun.
Let's kill it.